The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke. Jesus said to the crowds, "When you see a cloud rising in the west, you say immediately that it's going to rain, and so it does. And when you notice that the wind is blowing from the south, you say that it's going to be hot, and so it is. You hypocrites! You know how to interpret the appearance of earth and the sky. Why do you not know how to interpret the present time? Why do you not judge for yourselves what is right? If you are to go with your opponent before a magistrate, make an effort to settle the matter on the way. Otherwise, your opponent will turn you over to the judge, and the judge will hand you over to the constable, and the constable throw you into prison. I say to you, you will not be released until you have paid the last penny." The Gospel of the Lord. So Jesus calls us hypocrites if we're unwilling to read the signs of the times, to sort of judge in the time that we're living in, what's going on. Do you know how many times either I say to people, we're living in a crazy time? We say crazy because we don't want to actually tell them that it's an evil time, but we live in an evil time. And people don't want to be aware of that. No, I don't want to. And Jesus would call them hypocrites. He said, because I've given you the gifts of discernment, I give you the Spirit to be with you to discern good from bad, and you're not using them. And you pretend as if you don't have those gifts. You tell a lie, and essentially that's what a hypocrite is. Someone who's telling a lie. Either, by their actions or by their words, they're pretending it's one thing when they know very well it's another. Jesus would often, and we've seen this example in the Gospels all the time, where he would look at the Pharisees and he'd say, "You're hypocrites," right? Because they understood that they had no real relationship with God. They did not have an ongoing relationship of God that was one of holiness and righteousness and goodness, where they had cut that off and they could no longer hear the voice of God speaking to them, but they pretended before the people as if they did, as if they were good and righteous and blessed and all of those things. And they would make these pronouncements for the people, and Jesus would say, "You're a hypocrite." But it could be equally true of somebody who pretends to not have gifts from God when they actually do have gifts from God. When God has given them the gifts of right judgment and discernment of spirits and good counsel and all of that. And when they could speak a word to somebody and no. When they could tell them, "Oh, this is why you're having difficulty in this time, because it's an evil age." And then could mark out for them why it's an evil age. So now the Lord, speaking this gospel to us, says to us, you are charged, you have the job of judging these times. And I have already given you a clue, and I've said to you, this is an evil age. So now the Lord is saying to you, go find out how this is an evil age. And prepare yourselves. What will your response be? Do not let these times catch you unprepared or unaware. Now, that doesn't mean he wants you to run around like a chicken with its head cut off. Well, go ahead if you want, because that's a limited time, That's a very brief experience. But he doesn't want you to just go around screaming in panic and You're being of no help to anyone. But it's a very similar thing to go home, dig a hole, stick your head in it, and ask someone to cover it up very nicely. Could you do that for me? No. He wants you to go home and prepare. Now, that might mean that you need to research certain things. But more importantly, what do you need to prepare for? How do we prepare as Christians? We go before God honestly, and we say, all of those things that I was putting off before, I will no longer put off. I will get my household in order. I will no longer say, well, I'll leave this for someone else to do or for another time to do. You know, when I was a young priest, I was astounded at the number of people that thought they were going to live into their 60s. I'm teasing you. No, but I really, but the number of people, and still today, how many people think they're going to live forever? And they do not prepare themselves as if they could drop dead tomorrow. Well, the truth is, we all know that we don't have tomorrow. God has not promised us tomorrow. He's only promised us right now, today. And all the things that we need to do to prepare ourselves are the things that He readily makes available to us right here, right now. Those are the ways to be firmly grounded in Him and saying to Him, show me your truth, honestly and openly. And then give me your gifts so that I will not fear. One of Beth Marie's favorite parts from that movie, St. Paul, the Apostle of Christ, is when St. Luke, Jim Caviezel, is going by the prison cell, and they're all worried and afraid, and he just looks, it's just a moment in the movie. I'm always astounded that she noticed it because she missed the point of the rest of the movie. But she looks at that little thing, and he sort of leans in and he speaks to them just a few words of comfort. And he's, brothers, sisters, this will be over in a moment, in just a minute. It will all be over. And then they start praying and singing, right? That's the point. So all of a sudden we sort of adjust our minds and our hearts according to the truth of God, and we're calm, and we're praying, and we're singing in preparation for what God will do. That is what He calls us to in this gospel. Read the signs of the times. That is your responsibility. And then prepare yourself for what is coming.